in Estonia. This is the point where Eastern, Western and Northern Europe meet. For hundreds of years, people have come here to trade and share ideas on art and science. But in the 21st century, skaters and BMXers have joined that party for the biggest depths of winter skate and BMX contest on the calendar. The world's best are here, and I'm joined for the skate contest, I'm very happy to say, by a rarity in action sports, a man who needs no introduction. I'm going to give you one anyway, Tony. First man to land the 900. You've invented hundreds of tricks. You've got one of the most successful video game franchises in history, and you're still putting out relevant video parts well into your 6th decade.
Oh, well, thank you. My only secret is I never quit.
I know that because I saw you skate here on Friday. You tore this place to pieces.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's got some of the bigger transitions where I feel comfortable, so I was thankful to have that side of the park over there.
What do you think it takes to win on a course like this?
I think it takes someone who's well-rounded, an all-terrain vehicle, someone who can skate the big transitions but also do the tech street stuff. I think Jagger Eaton set the standard for these guys last year, and they're stepping it up, though.
I mean, he had consistency, he had the transition skills, and then he took it to the street.
Absolutely, and you see these guys taking cues from that. A guy like Liam Pace, he can do the big transfer, 360 over the gap, eggplants on the vert, but then also hit the rails, and that's what it's going to take to win.
Okay, we've got an entirely new crop of young skaters who have been tearing this place to pieces in qualies. It's time to get Simple Session 19 underway. Well, skate finals are just a couple of minutes away. The Saku Arena is nearly at capacity. But first, we're going to talk about qualifiers, because yesterday we cut just over 50 skaters down to just 12. And Tony, it was an incredible spectacle.
It was really fun to watch. You know, they each have 2 minutes, so they try to get some stuff out of the way in the beginning and then go a little crazy. And it was great to see Grayson Fletcher come through, because usually he's all or nothing. And yesterday he was a little bit more conservative. I think he really wanted to make the finals.
Okay, yeah, a little bit of pressure on him. Let's take a look at, we'll pull the meat off the bones of the top 3 though. Joseph Garbaciak, the French powerhouse, made his presence felt.
He has been killing. I love his lines. He uses those side ramps as well. We've seen some really tech stuff and some big stuff, but this guy, Liam Pace, came in hot from Tucson. He can do the big stuff. He can hit the trannies. He's the only one that you're going to see doing an eggplant up on the vert wall. And he's got the rails, so he's the favorite right now.
Liam Pace under full afterburner for his entire run. That is something worth waiting for. You mentioned him earlier though. Grayson Fletcher has been here. He doesn't usually put himself under the judge's eye, but within 2 or 3 runs of practice, he laid down an absolute banger of a run.
That's kind of his style, and from my experience, it's more all or nothing, and for the most part, he kind of goes a little crazy and pushes it too far. And yesterday he pushed it just enough to stay on, but still impress the judges. So we're stoked to see him in the finals.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I've got to say he's one of my personal favourite skaters, and it's been a real pleasure watching him throw down here. If you can throw in something like this as well, I think podium's not out of the question.
Not at all. No, I mean, look at that. Like lip slide into a nose blunt, but he's already hit the bigger stuff and the spine, and he's got it all.
Okay, a couple of other sleeping giants that we've got here who are going to be giving Grayson a run for his money. You mentioned him early, Jaime Mateo, the Spanish skater.
I love it. He's got a mix of old school and new school. He's doing a backside boneless revert up on this really scary quarter pipe on the edge, but all the transfers as well, and he's got some tech tricks, so I think he's an underdog.
What about at the other end of the spectrum, the real street side of things? We've got Aurélien Giraud.
He's been amazing. He's got this insta clip that's just been making the rounds, doing a backside kickflip 360 down of double set, and I feel like if people didn't know who he was by now, definitely know who he is now, and he's like the French Nyjah.
That is a tip from the top right there. Definitely slept in qualies, but I think he could step it up here. Now, though, we're going to take a look at one more of the contenders who burst onto the scene in 2016 with a win in Vancouver on the Vans Park Series, Ivan Federico.
I'm Ivan Federico, I'm from Italy, and I am 19 years old.
Simple Session looks on paper like a course that would really suit your style of skating.
It's really fun. It's fast. The only problem for me is like you need to push a lot, you know, like because it's normal. It's a street course and bike course also. So you need to find a good line, and I think the park is perfect. And you have the big wall. Yeah, it's pretty dope, that thing. I want to try good stuff over there. I have a lot of flip tricks, so I know that this trick for me it's easy to do, but for maybe other person it's not easy, so I'm focused on that and maybe, you know, get more smooth, because I'm really most of the time like you know, and I wanna now try to skate more chill, you know, more smooth.
I think a lot of people would know you from the Vans Park Series result in Vancouver. Did that change a lot for you?
Yeah, people see me, I start to, you know, change my style and have my personal style, you know, and grow with that and start to learn English, because before that I even know to speak English.
As an Italian skater, travel's pretty important, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's the best way to learn. I think, you know, travel a lot and see a lot of different, you know, culture of skateboard and everything, and yeah, I love that.
Is that why you always come to Simple Session?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I love here. The people are super good, the skate park is good, we have fun, party. All the people from all the world come here and skating, and, you know, be a big community and skating together.
Probably the most important question when it comes to Simple Session is, how do you balance your skating with the social element?
This year I want to try to, you know, don't make too much party, maybe make the party the last day, you know, and focus more on the contest and see what happens, you know.
Well, we've taken a look at most of the big guns in terms of the skaters there. The next thing to look at is the format, and you've probably entered more skate contests than anyone on this planet, Tony. What do you make of this one? 2 runs, 1 minute each run.
That's pretty hectic. You know, usually when you're doing run format, individual runs, you get at least 3 or 4 with the best run counting. 2 chances is tight. So my advice is to stay conservative on your first one. If you make it through that one, step it up a little bit. But I don't think anyone's going to be conservative here. I see them all going all or nothing.
Okay, what do you prefer?
I would prefer something with maybe 3 or 4 runs like that, where it's individual runs. The whole idea of 2 people going at the same time for 2 minutes, that's pretty exhausting. So after your first minute, if you've already done all your best stuff, it's kind of like, it's daunting to think, oh, I'm halfway there, and I better step it up some more. So I prefer the individual runs, but give us a couple chances, more than 2.
Yeah, it is all on the line here, just 2 chances. The big star of the show, though, we've talked format and riders, the big star of the show is, of course, the course here, designed by Nate Wessel. We sent Jaime Mateo and Danny Leon out to explore it.
Hi, it's Danny Leon. I'm here with my friend Jaime Mateo, and we are here in Tallinn for the 2019 Simple Session, and we're gonna show you the course. I like this rail, and we're gonna try to do like some technique tricks. I don't know, like field 180s, crooked grinds. I don't know, maybe some 50s, some 5. Let's see. I love this spine because it's kind of weird. Because you have to know what lines to do, how to skate it, and you have to find like the perfect line to keep going. Behind me is the big session, the big transfer. A lot of people feel scared because now they make a channel in the middle. We're gonna make like big airs, like, I don't know, 360s. We're gonna try kickflip indie, a lot of different tricks.
I love it. This is my favorite. I think Simple Session is not the same without that.
The last spot behind me, we have this quarter. It's on the side, it's not in the park, so you have to find a perfect line to arrive here and keep going. I think about the course of 2019 Simple Session is better than last year. Every year is growing. This is not for street skaters or road skaters. This is for both. You have to do everything.
Unfortunately, Danny Leon rolled his ankle and then had a nasty case of the flu, so hasn't made it through the finals. But we did get a glimpse of Jaime Mateo there. Absolutely
He's
destroying
exciting.
this.
He's like a rabbit out on the course, just rushing and going full speed and jumping all the gaps and doing big stuff. And I mean, honestly, his run's kind of scary.
Well, I've got to say, yesterday you were in the Legends session and you weren't that far down from Matteo. You attacked this course.
Yeah, I'm not going to throw a backside revert on that really skinny quarter pipe up on the ledge, though.
Which parts of the course did you enjoy?
Well, I'm partial to the bigger transitions, so obviously this big sort of jump on the one side where everyone uses to start, and then the vert wall there, that's my home turf for the most part. And then getting into the spine, I'm still, living in there, but then once the street stuff happens on the other side, that's out of my element, and I'm going to leave it to the experts here.
Okay, so definitely the big transition side of the park for Tony. You can join in the conversation. We're going to be checking social media all day. Just use the hashtag #SimpleSession. Right now, we're going to throw down to our course side reporter, Tuli Yevstigneyev. Tuli, you've been watching the skaters go through the park here. Which lines are favourites by your standards?
Watching the competition from the ground, I can definitely say that my eyes are going to be glued to the rails in the center. Mostly because it takes only just like 1 second to blink and you're going to miss a really good tech trick. So definitely the rails.
Okay, from what you've seen in practice, who do you fancy? Who do you think is going to do well?
Oh, who do I fancy? Well, I'll be following Jaakko Ojanen for a while. He's from Finland, and he's going to do some pretty good gnarly tricks on the wall ride, I think. Yeah, we'll see. Jaakko Ojanen.
Okay, thank you very much, Tuli. Tony, you kind of pinned your colours to the mask with Liam already. Are you going to change that?
I don't think so. Watching him practice, he looks strong, he looks confident, and I feel like he's saving some stuff here. So I'm going to still go with him.
Okay, I'm in two minds. My heart says Grayson, my head says Aurelian.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm not just trying to be partial to US, by the way. I'm trying to be very objective.
No, you watched qualifiers and Liam Pace came first. So we're going to jump into the commentary box now. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have skate finals here at Simple Session 2019.
The Marseille Bowl, one of the most iconic skateboarding stages in the world.
This is not just a piece of concrete, this is like a museum of skateboarding.
We trace its history with the legends who shredded it over the past 25 years.
Well, for me, a pool is the heart of modern skating.
Back to the Bowl, a Marseille skate legend, now available on Red Bull TV. Pump up your tires for the world of Red Bull. The best live events, feature films, and shows. Make it your world and download the app for free. Red Bull TV is available on all your devices, anywhere, at any time. Go beyond the ordinary. Get the app now. Get out and discover new places. Go meet friends and get inspired. Go practice and improve. A place to love and support a movement that's more than just a sport.
Love it! Tough act to follow.
Red Bull TV dedicates a channel to a unique form of art. Get stoked with the greatest programming and stunning skateboarding movies. Join millions of skateboarders taking over the world. No politics, no barriers, no excuses, just pure fun. Tune in to the Skateboarding channel on Red Bull TV.
So I'm standing here with our legendary Bam Margera. I mean, skateboarding judge, Simple Session 2019. Bam, you're a pro skateboarder yourself. Looking at the course, did you feel like dropping in yourself?
Well, when I first got here, we had the whole place to ourselves, me, Pat Duffy, and Matters are some element riders. It was fun to just, get to feel the place without the crowd. But these guys are killing it so hard. Their go-to tricks are like, it could end a video part. It's a new day in skateboarding, and there's tricks that blow me away. It's crazy.
Well, you were looking at the qualities yesterday, judging. Are there any special riders we should be looking out for?
at the end, it started getting real scary because like the cutoff line was starting to get slim, and I knew that there's some people in the beginning that totally deserved to be in the finals. So it started to get really sketchy when everybody was getting real good at the end. Didn't know what to do.
Well, great to have you in Tallinn, Estonia, Bam Margera.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Well, he's always as entertaining as ever. Bam Margera there, going to be sat in the judges' box alongside, I think we've got quite a few heads up there. Definitely Dan Cates is in charge of them all.
Yeah, well, let's say it's an expert panel.
Pat Duffy?
Yeah, Pat Duffy, absolutely. One of the legends of street, a guy who started the whole big handrail business here.
He's not backing off that much either, is he? In the Legends session, I think I saw big spin backside disaster.
Yeah.
Nollie heels.
Came out of nowhere, too.
Okay, this is the start list. Ivan Federico, we talked about. Liam Pace, top place qualifier, will get to drop last. Jordan Thackeray, one of my favourites. Definitely one of the most creative, I think, in the qualifiers. And then Jaime Mateo there in 9th place. So, well, 9th to drop. But we have the joy. We're going to kick off with some Fletcher DNA. Grayson Fletcher, his grandfather, invented grip tape for surfboards. Herbie Fletcher. His dad was one of the pioneers of aerials on surfboards. His uncle Nathan is one of the best big wave surfers in the world. And it's what amazes me, Tony. You can actually see his genes. You can see his dad Christian's style in his skating.
Oh, absolutely. Christian was, he's revolutionary. He's the guy who started doing proper ollies on waves. And now that's what surfing's about, is aerials. And he's the guy who started that whole movement.
And he's so unique. He's set up in the middle of the course now. Grayson Fletcher, he's put out some huge video parts in perdition for Element, and then the in transition part where I think it was Chris Gregson following him at lightning speed.
Yeah, you need someone like Chris Gregson if you're going to keep up with Christian.
Okay, so Grayson Fletcher making his way up onto the top of the far feature.
Of course, Grayson has to go all the way to the top to get some speed here.
Love that. He's just kind of loping his way across. Yeah, he's in no rush there. He's the opposite of Jaime Mateo, who you can see in the white t-shirt there. He's pacing like a caged tiger. Grayson loping like a jaguar.
He's the Gandalf of the event. Oh, look at that. I have not seen him do that wall ride in practice. Look at this. Ollie is so huge, bigger than anyone who grabs there. And then a big backside ollie, landing low, but not a problem.
Generating so much speed across the flat.
Oh, one-footed ollie up to the spine.
An absolute joy to watch, backtail through the spine.
So this is Grayson not holding back, for sure.
So, slight amendment to the running order as well. I got it in my ear while we were doing the pre-show, Tony. 75 seconds, not a minute, so they have upped it. Even more pressure.
Sounds exhausting to me. Look at this. Working his way up. Big step-up gap right there. And then a huge disaster. Oh, my goodness. No sight. This is a banger run. I mean, out of the gate. Already, he's hit every obstacle that you would need to hit to have a high-scoring run, and he's still got 18 seconds left.
We're in very real danger of getting a winning run straight out of the box. This is incredible consistency.
Now what? Here we go, big transfer. Oh, all the way over to the bird wall, and then he went the hard way on that launch ramp. Well, it's the first run, but that could possibly be the winning run.
I put my hands together and say thank you to Grayson Fletcher. That was phenomenal. I think I've only seen that run, the last transfer he did there, done by the BMXers.
Yeah, I saw him eyeing it yesterday and thought, yeah, that'll be interesting if he tries it.
Wow, what a run. We can look at that ollie. He's going as big, if not bigger than anyone, and he's not grabbing, he's just floating.
This one, I love how he can take his foot off at any height. But this is really, you can see Grayson focusing, and a lot of the time he's a little bit fly-by-night with how he approaches this situation, and it felt like he was much more collected and calm on this one. Look at him. And now what? He's got too much speed going the wrong way on that jump.
pure entertainment. We have opened as we mean to continue with Grayson Fletcher. San Clemente's finest, setting the bar very, very high at simple session 19. And there's smoke coming out of the judges' ears already. He's all except for Bam, who down at the end there is just grinning at that run.
Yeah, I love Bam brings a unique perspective to the judging because he's not jaded. He doesn't judge these things all the time. So I think he has a better, maybe objective perspective. And you can see that he just enjoys the ride too. Like, he's a fan.
Yeah, it's not like he's trying too hard to pull the numbers apart. He's just going on sheer entertainment value.
Yeah, if you were to go look at the notes he takes, he just puts symbols next to each rider. And that's sort of his, oh, there you go. 81.8 for Grayson Fletcher, first run.
Yeah, I imagine there might have been a Slayer pentagram next to Grayson for that one. So
I think heartograms in Bam scale.
Okay, so Grayson Fletcher banking an 81.80. Very, very strong first score. It's up to the rest of the pack to chase him down now. The first of those will be Jarkko Ojanen of Finland. This kid came through in 2009, turned up on the Volcom Wild in the Parks Tour, and won the European legs. Got to go over to the States, and he's been cranking the video parts and the results ever since.
If there's one thing you say, he can think fast. So if there's an obstacle that came up in his way, he's going to do something on it, even if he didn't plan it ahead of time.
It looked, you said it earlier, we expect people to improvise, and I saw it with him in practice. He was really, like, the intensity of his run, he was really working the street section.
Yeah, and there's a lot to hit there. So if you can unpack a run and hit 3 obstacles from one side to the next, that counts for a lot.
Okay, Jarkko Ojanen of Finland dropping in, a veteran of Simple Session 1, best trick back in 2012. He's been here ever since. Hasn't been a regular fixture in finals though.
And here we go, we started with a backsmith up that ledge. Looks like he's setting up for something else here. Oh, weird lip slide there. I think when I saw him practicing, that was a backside nose blunt slide that he would go onto the deck. And it feels like he's a little lost here.
Yeah, wrong way into the pole jam was quite a nice touch, but it feels like setups.
He's back in the rhythm though. And not, you know, he hasn't fallen, so that's better. It's better to be lost, but still making everything.
There's a bit of Stacy Peralta channeled into the kick turn around the top.
Oh, that was nice.
Fake ollie off the credit card feature, they're calling it. Cabin to nose manual on the Volcano. So, yeah, he didn't, I mean, it's difficult to compare. It's apples and oranges between him and Grayson, but it doesn't feel like the intensity's there. Oh!
There it is, there's that backside nose blunt slide onto the deck.
So, Jarkko Ojanen, it was a really nice run, super stylish, but the level of intensity, the urgency you need to really battle it out in a simple session final wasn't there for me.
I think it was also, we didn't see the amount of tricks. A lot of it was sort of getting from point A to point B.
A lot of creative use as well, but you consider what we're going to see from some of the big guns. Jordan Thackeray, Garbaciak, Aurélien Giraud, who's coming up next. These guys, and Carsten Boyer, these guys are going to throw down some, like, same obstacles, but super, super tech tricks, so.
But I think we're going to see him take some more chances in the next run and definitely hit some more obstacles. If he can get that nose blunt slide deck transfer, I feel like that's going to give him the confidence to really push it.
Okay, it'd be interesting to see how many emojis he gets from Bam. The rest of the judges will be working in numbers though, so we should have a score. Pat Duffy looked like he finished about 10 minutes ago. Okay. Now you can see the arena filling up, full day of action here. 72 for Jarkko Ojanen, first run. Stayed on his board. That's that kind of conservative middling score, isn't it? Whenever anyone stays on their feet, that's what the judges are going to chuck out. Next in, it is the Frenchman who's been making waves on the SLS. I think he came 4th in Rio. And as you said in pre-show, he's laid down that incredible back backside 360 flip down the double set in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, you can see when he sets his mind to it, he's all consistent. It's like just a machine of tricks. And you know, there's very little flail, there's very little sketch, we like to call. His feet always land perfectly, and he's exciting to watch. He almost makes it look too easy.
It's interesting, he came through, he won Simple Session in 2016 and 17. He's used that platform to really assert himself at SLS backside 360 nose to start.
Yeah, these are big tricks right here for someone who's considered more of a tech street skater. There you go, Indy nose bone transfer. And this is where he shines when he starts hitting the rails and the step-ups. Smith grind up, crooked grind over. Whoa, a little bit of sketch, which is kind of out of character, but he still made it.
You called him the French Niger earlier. He's got that same kind of really powerful style or stance on his board.
Yeah, it just exudes confidence. Look at that 270 lip slide, kind of going to revert out of it, but he's hanging on.
Yeah, usually his hands are allergic to the floor. You never see him put them down, but he's just had a couple of swipes there.
Sometimes you got to look for your glasses. Oh, wow, look at that. Kickflip, and then just instant recovery to a hard flip. This isn't quite the run he wants, but he is staying on at all costs, and it's gonna serve him well. That was a cab right there, lip side. Look at that. Big spin, 360 flip. Now just toying with these. Look at nollie to front foot kickflip. Like, all that stuff is super difficult, and he's just throwing it down like it's an afterthought.
Yeah, he even gave it, there's a special name for that face. It's called the French puncture, when you kind of do that, let out a lot of air. He definitely wasn't happy with that by his own standards, but as you said, he was just throwing away incredible tech tricks at the end there.
Yeah, the tricks that a lot of these guys would love to do when they're really trying. This was pretty magnificent though. That kickflip almost hung up, and then recovery into a hard flip. That's experience right there.
And that hard way over to backside disaster, just beautiful. So interesting challenge for the judges now. Do they judge on Aurelian's ability, what he's capable of, or do they mark him against everyone else? It's always a difficult benchmark, and it'll be Dan Cates' job to actually make sure that he's judged against everyone else. Did you ever find that when you were competing that people know what you're capable of? So if judges, they mark you on what you're capable of rather than how you're faring
that's
against
unfortunate.
everyone else.
It's unfortunate when they're so embedded in your style and what they think you can do that they will mark you against yourself. And I feel like that's a relatively fair score for him. I expect a little bit higher. But he knows that's his baseline and what he needs to do to step that up. And he could definitely step that up. Like that run, he could add a few more points to it.
So 77.8 for Aurelien Giraud. Carsten Boyer coming up now. We've got a little clip from social of him. Yeah, Carsten Boyer just attacking the rails in every direction, even the railings at the back of the course.
One of my heartstrings there, the backside bombers at the end.
Definitely a fan favorite for you. Jaime Mateo, you are gushing over his backside revert version.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that trick only because I know how truly dangerous it can be.
From experience. Carsten Boyer dropping in now. So out of Dallas, Texas, and as we know, everything in Texas is big, and Carsten skating is no exception. Really, really clean, solid, strong skating in qualifiers.
And a lot of guys are starting with this jump here, but not many are going over to that deck. Something's going to happen here. Oh, he's the only one to hit this rail. Smith grind up on the sort of forbidden zone.
And he's got what I've described as a quiet style.
really, really gentle, and it's almost as if you can make things look too easy with this kind of style.
Yeah, it's pretty low key, but he's not, with the exception of that, he's not faltering, and he obviously has his whole run planned out. So it's not like he's sort of looking around trying to figure out what he's going to do. He definitely had it already in mind. Oh, look at that. That was nice. 50-50 to 180 out. Those ledges are pretty high, too. Back lip. Oh, missing it. Looked like he decided to go to fakie mid-slide there.
Yeah, like he was on his toes slightly, so he needed to revert it slightly. Oh, just lost his rhythm off the end there.
You can see if he would have put all that together, he'd be a top contender, but he has another chance.
So at the moment, Grayson Fletcher's opening run standing the test of time. 81.8 for Grayson in first. Aurélien Giraud slipped in behind him with the second-rate run, a B run by Aurélien standard, 77.8. And then Jarkko Ojanen just warming himself up. He was definitely wasn't cooking with gas with his first run. He was just simmering, I'd say. 72 points on that one. So a couple of replays from Carsten Boyer's first run. Definitely his throwaway, I think. But as you said, Tony, like the makings of a great run in here.
And there's that 50-50 to 180 out. That was clean. The rest of the run kind of faltered, but he knows what he has to do.
Okay, so Grayson Fletcher giving himself a little claim there, and rightly so after his performance. 57.8 for Carsten Boyer. Definitely second run pressure for the man from Dallas, Texas. Next skater to drop in though, a man that you know pretty well, Tony, Chris Gregson.
Chris Gregson is an amazing, I call him the unicorn because he can skate and shoot video as well. He's one of the most prolific videographers in our sport, but also one of the best skaters out there.
He ollied over a gap in your vert ramp, didn't he? And it looked like a full panel gap.
Yeah, while shooting and keeping me in frame, yes. You forgot to add that part of it.
Sorry, yeah, that was the important bit.
I keep saying he needs to have a video part of him shooting video because it's pretty magical.
Okay, the 28-year-old goofy footer out of Irvine, California, dropping in to the big ramp.
There we go, into the disaster. This is hard right here to get enough speed for that vert wall. Even a disaster is an accomplishment because you have to be going up all these other ramps. Look at this frontside flip disaster is so clean. He's the only one that does it, and just every single time.
It's the confidence that he skates with, isn't it? There's no doubt when you're watching him, you're like, yeah, he's going to make it.
Yeah, he's got the mini ramp. Oh, look at that. To the Willie. Oh, wow. Frontside blunt disaster to backside revert. That is a super hard trick on any size ramp, and that mini ramp is substantial. I would hesitate to call it mini.
Okay, so Chris Gregson with a full pause for a lightning mini ramp attack there, and now he's up at the other end, just working his way through this course.
Oh, frontside blunt. This is a solid run. He wants one more here. He's got 10 seconds to get something. I have a feeling it's maybe a 360 here. Nope, it's a Indian stale fish. Nice.
So Chris Gregson,
solid run.
Not one fall, and he made use of every single part of the course.
He did. I was surprised that he went back up to the launch ramp section at the very, very end because it felt like he was looking for something big to end on. And I mean, while that was a good trick, it wasn't sort of the opus that we were hoping for. But a solid run all around and doing stuff that no one else is able to do.
Frontside disaster up at the top there to open. I think this was the real tech smarts.
Yeah, that's textbook Chris Gregson right there. Frontside flip disaster. And then this one, frontside blunt into a disaster, and you see just twisting to backside revert. That's a yoga move.
Going to be very, very interesting to see where the judges put this one in comparison to Grayson. Maybe not quite as showpiece on the big moves as Grayson's, but more technical, I think, in places.
But absolutely a solid run. I mean, that would give you the confidence to really try something hard the next run.
Okay, so at the top of the standings at the moment, 81.8, Grayson Fletcher. At the bottom, 57.8. Aurelian Giraud in second. I think we've got to see a score somewhere between Aurelian and Grayson, definitely, for Chris.
Yeah, definitely. They may even score him higher than Grayson, but I doubt it.
Oh, there'll be some heated discussions going on amongst the judges right now.
Wow, that's much lower than I anticipated.
71.4. So that seems really low.
I think they marked him way down for not hitting the street section. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, is that you didn't see him do much of the rail stuff, and at least the other guys hit the ledges, did some 50-50s and whatnot, but Chris basically stayed in the transition part of the course, and that it looked like that marked him down.
Okay, Chris Gregson, definitely something to chew on and think about for his second run. Meanwhile, we're going back up to the roll-in for a man who's been to Simple Session for the last 15 years. Say hello to Keyshawn Johnson.
Nice indie tweak over that. I don't know what to call that thing. I want to call it a mini mega, but it's a jump ramp. Nice Smith grind going up the ledge. Coming back at the other ledge. 5-0. You can tell he has this run planned. Front blunt. Down the ledge, looking at him trying to keep his speed up. Oh, missing the feeble there. That's surprising.
So the guy out of Dallas, Texas, just taking a little look back there, big smile on his face.
Nice, he's the only one doing that board slide up the rail. And as simple as that looks, that is very difficult to ollie that high and then to position your body to push upward. There's a lot of risk there.
He's one of those rare specimens who's in the 40-inch club as well. He's got that much pop. He can make it over a 40-inch bar.
It's a very specific measurement. How did you know that?
I heard Dave Duncan say it yesterday. Okay. That's what I do. That's all of my research is standing behind Dave Duncan.
You retain that information well. You're like a trivia expert.
So Keyshawn Johnson, a couple of small little stumbles in there for him. Again, he'll be looking to his second run to improve on that. Perennial finals performer at Simple Session. The only time he hasn't made finals, he actually qualified last year, but the social took him out, is the diplomatic way of saying it.
Yeah, all this stuff was super solid, going through these ledges and these rails. This frontside blunt slide.
So Keyshawn Johnson, I don't think he's got any expectations on this score, but he might get a little indicator there of what he can do.
63.2.
That seems, I've got to say, that's making Chris Gregson's score seem all the more confusing to me. Just 8 points difference between them, and Gregson was so clean and technical.
Well, maybe the judges are partial to the rails.
Yeah, I think that's what we're seeing.
If you hit those rails, you get more tricks in a less time. And I think that counts for a lot.
Okay, just sheer volume of tricks. Next in, we've got Ivan Federico from Italy.
And he's definitely got the vert and the mini ramp that it takes to be well-rounded here, but also the rail tricks.
I've got to say, in terms of build, he reminds me a little bit of your style. He's got that languid kind of flowing style.
Languid. Lanky?
Yeah. Well, I always think it's hard in any action sports if you're a tall drink of water to make it look good, and you've done it, Ivan's done it. I think Carsten Boyer's doing it as well, and Chris Gregson.
True, yeah. Yeah, those guys are all on the tall end of the scale.
I did notice as well, did you see Ivan Federico, the footage we had from his 2016 Vans Park Series win, wearing a Hawaiian shirt? Maybe he's got the Hawaiian shirt Lucky Charm.
That's his signature now. This is nice. Got a lot of speed here too, coming off the roll. And then right there. Wow, kickflip melon. That did flip, right?
Yeah.
that thing went fast.
He had it.
Whoa, look at that. Tail stall up on the ledge. We have not seen that yet.
Okay, could he be falling into the same trap as Grayson here? He needs to go and make some use of the rails.
Well, I think that's where he was heading right now.
Okay, so you can see the standings on the side of the picture there. Fletcher out in front.
Here we go, hitting the rails, lip slide.
Yeah, needs to make hay in this section. We saw earlier on Chris Grayson not ignoring, but really not making the most of this section. So,
oh, nice feeble. This is looking good. Kickflip disaster. We'll see if they forgive his miss on the kickflip lean over the hip. He's got time for one more, maybe. You can tell after a minute, it's exhausting.
The tongue's out, he's panting.
He's gonna run out of time here. I'm guessing he's gonna do a kickflip 360 though. For the crowd, missing it.
Just sliding in there. If you're just joining us, this is Simple Session 2019 Men's Pro Skate Finals. We are 6 skaters in. Ivan Federico just taking his run, and he opened with this backside 360 nose grab. Coming off the back, there it was, proof, Tony, that he flipped.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I wasn't crazy.
He caught it before the apex of the transfer.
Now this is very cool. Ollie to tail right there. That's a big jump leaping back in.
He had the slight bail on the hip, but he recovered and made a couple of really nice tech rail tricks up at the back end there. Now the judges, we're waiting for the signals from the judges to see where they're weighting their scores, whether it's in technicality, whether it's in transition, whether it's in consistency. And we've seen Chris Grayson using a lot of transition, completely consistent, stayed on the whole way, maybe didn't give enough lip service to the rails for a 71. Ivan's made it through the whole park, but with a bail, so.
Yeah, I don't know. The judges haven't left themselves a lot of room in terms of the range of score, and that puts Ivan straight in the middle for the most part of what they think is on the low end or the highest end.
So 75.4 for Ivan Federico. This is how it lines up, and you can see a real logjam developing between second and fourth there, and like even fifth. We've got less than 7 points separating, well 7.4 actually, between second and fifth. And that's going to create problems for the judges.
Yeah, that's tough. Like I said, they didn't leave themselves a lot of room. And so they're going to have to be very observant over what these guys are doing and how they're using the whole course.
They're going to be looking for excuses now. Luis Neto of Brazil lives 10 minutes down the road from Pedro Barros, but you couldn't find a different skater in terms of style. He is solid street, and he had an incredibly technical run in qualifiers. So the Brazilian lining up. I think first skater we've seen starting off at this end of the course. Supertech used the whole course. Back 270 to board slide to open.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he started his run over on this side, because that's the hardest to gain the speed from. But it doesn't look like a problem so far. Look at that back lip. And then he's making good use of all the tech stuff. Oh, kickflip front board to Faggy, just missing it. But it's good that he keeps his speed up like that. Oh, wow, hard flip, back lip. Wow. That's no joke right there. That seems like a simple little trick, but the difficulty factor is huge. And right there, big flip front board, Faggy. So he basically killed that handrail. Now he's got to move on to some of the transition if he's going to have the well-rounded run.
20 seconds left to attack this big transition side of the course.
Nice ollie. Oh, his foot coming off into a judo on the quarter pipe. I feel like that was just more to show the judges that he's capable of it, but not really to do anything that impressive. But that's important.
Well, we talked about it with Carsten Boyer, that quiet style, didn't we? I mean, Lewis is almost silent. Oh! And then right at the end there, that hard way 270 back lip. Or board slide, actually, sorry.
Yeah, well, that's a cab back lip, but that didn't count. That was after time. Although I don't know if it would have mattered that much. And now this is tricky because he's probably going to end up somewhere in the middle of those scores. And like I said, the judges haven't left themselves a lot of leeway to score people high or low. So I feel like he's going to fit right in somewhere in the middle. But these tricks were on the high end of difficulty.
Is that tray flip from board?
Yeah, well, basically it's we call it a big flip. And then a little judo there. An ode to vert skating. And then this cab, backside lip, so easy. First time I saw him skate, he was skating I don't know how to explain it. This guy created a wave in a mini ramp. Did you see that? That was going around the internet, on social. Basically, it suddenly comes up as a wave on the flat bottom and pushes you through the flat.
I haven't seen that.
Kind of a novelty, but he was skating it and he made it look easy, and you could tell it was not an easy thing to do.
Okay, we need to hear from this man, Jaime Mateo from Spain.
For maniacs, you know what I mean? You can go fast, fly so high, then you go so fast to the rails. I don't know, that park is for really maniac skaters.
There you go, Jaime Mateo calling it. This park is for maniacs, and I give it to you now, 100% this man is a maniac. The Spaniard's got it all. You were frothing over his skating, Tony.
Oh yeah, he's exciting to watch, and the way that he was speaking right there is exemplary of how he skates. Just fire, rapid fire, and super excited, and not going to slow down.
Yeah, the energy that came out, the urgency in his skating is just wonderful. And we're going to see, you've got two completely different skaters. Luis Neto, banked to 73.8, I should tell you. Let's see what Jaime Mateo from Spain can do.
Go into the kicker. Indy 3, landing a little low, but not a problem. Into the alley front side. I love that little transfer just to get speed. And then backside 3 over the spine. No one else is doing that. That is really risky because it's easy to land too low and to lose all your speed.
Made that look so smooth as well, the step down.
Here it is. Like I said, going through on the rails. So fast. Look at it, 40 seconds to go, and he's already hit everything on the course. And now his caveman bomb drop into my favorite backside bonus revert.
High consequence and made it look so easy.
This is a solid run right here. Wow, I don't know what you would call that, an Indy nose manual? What else does he have up his sleeve here?
He's still in.
Oh, transfer over. We call that a bug on a windshield because he just splat on the wall. And that's it.
Oh, and he desperately wanted to get up on top here. Ran out of time on that boneless bomb drop.
I don't think he needed that. I don't know if that would have really upped the score that much. It would have been showy, like he's still going to do it for the crowd here. He still wants it.
It's interesting. It's the first time I've seen him in the flesh. I've seen video parts from him before, but I was questioning whether he could maintain this level of intensity for the entire course. But
clearing out his landing zone. This is skateboarding, though. This is what it's all about. Doesn't matter. It's not going to count. He's doing it for the crowd. He's doing it because he's hyped. And it's exactly why we do what we do. Look at that. Oh, boneless to fake. 180 boneless into a small transition. Is this the best trick contest now?
So the regular cab boneless bomb drop.
Oh, that was it.
And you might not have actually noticed that before. There's a couple of little compressions and then pump bumps right in front of that transition there. And he's just spitting Jaime out.
This trick right here, I think is one of the most impressive. Just the 360 over the spine, but because when you do it over a spine, you lose the transition very quickly, and it's hard to get a good landing. But this one, lean to splat, bug on a windshield, is very tricky to keep your speed up and land properly.
Okay, let's go down to Tuliev Stigneyev, who's down with Jaime Mateo right now.
Jaime, I mean, what was that? You're such a high flyer. I mean, what were you doing? I mean, the first run was amazing. What can you do in the second one?
I don't know, I will try to do something more, let's see. But I'm so happy with that round. People was excited. Happy about it.
I mean, you were trying something pretty big up there. Are you going to do something in the second run which is going to blow our minds even more?
In the last round, that wasn't in time, so I will try to put it in time. Let's see.
Great, well, thank you so much.
Thanks to you.
Cheers, Jaime. Something to look forward to for second runs there from the Spanish fly. That bug on a windshield, very, very impressive. Now we're into the last three skaters. These were your top three qualifiers from yesterday. Joseph Garbaciak from France, so strong, so clean, so solid. This was a really impressive run. Can he deal with the pressure though here in finals? That's the big question. So, actually comes from Le Havre, port city up in the north of France, and it's, in terms of skating in Europe, it is really not on the map. But a lot of industrial architecture, decent skate park up there, and it served him well.
Yeah, sometimes those more isolated places breed hungrier skaters. And they can skate anything because they don't have anything good to ride. Nice India right there. Oh, stale first 360 over the volcano. That was nice. And then right into the rails, kickflip front board.
Well, we've had a bit of everything. We're only 5 tricks in.
Yeah, that was a good start and a good way to end the sort of transition area with that kickflip front board. Whoa, backside Smith. To a 5-0. This is a solid run right here. Oh, what was happening there? I'm not sure if that was intentionally going to wheelie grind.
So 40 seconds into the run and he was clean all the way through, and he made a lot of headway through the entire course.
Trying that 270 lip. He's got to get at least one more trick in here to get himself on the board. Strong start though. You can see what he's capable of.
Yeah, he put this all together in qualifiers, and that's why he made the 3rd spot. Oh!
Kickflip Indy over the kicker. He's going to hope for his second round to put it all together.
So frustrating one there for Joseph Garbaciak. He started so strongly. So many different tricks over so many different obstacles. Got so much pop on that jump box, the mini mega.
I like this overturn Indy nose mount. And then this one out of nowhere, stale fish 360. That thing is really hard to clear, especially if you're doing a 360 because you just can't see the landing.
And the body position on the back Smith as well, so classic. So we can give you an update as well. I think with the interview with Jaime, we didn't get his scores in. So with the 79.2, Jaime Mateo is in second. Grayson Fletcher still holding out the top spot with an 81.8. Just 2 skaters left to drop. Garbaciak, 69 points. So he's in 8th place, just ahead of Keyshawn Johnson and Carsten Boyer. But we remain between 3rd and 7th. Really tight score selection. Next up, Jordan Thackeray from Colchester in England.
Flying off the ramps and then suddenly there's just a million rails and ledges in front of you. It's really scary, but like, I find if you lose the speed, then it's okay because you can just hit that stuff. But that's about it really for me.
Jordan Thackeray, 22 years old, got into skateboarding after he played a fairly well-known computer game called Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Oh, wow. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, he was 7 years old and told his mum that he wanted to get aboard after he played the game. He found it fun. So you're about to see a prodigy of yours, I suppose.
It is amazing, though, to think that there were tricks that we were doing in that game, combos, that we only did it in the game because it was fantasy, and now those tricks have come to life because of guys like him who grew up thinking it is possible.
Well, this run, his running qualifiers was a testament to that. So much, a beautiful mix of old school and new school flavour.
Oh, trying to stalefish over that spine. That spine is so difficult to get enough speed to clear and land well. Look at that, straight in frontside feeble. What is going on? I do not know what that was. That was the pirouette disaster.
It was wild, isn't it? I listened to Mark Brewster and Dave Duncan trying to make sense of it yesterday.
Oh, and then there's the full pirouette. So I'm just making up his name. Sorry, guys, I don't know what that was.
No, that's exactly what Dave went for yesterday. So you're definitely on the same track.
That's very cool. That's like mini ramp champ right there.
Jordan's just got that lovely, really, really loose style where you know that he'll get away with something. Even if it's going wrong, he can improvise in the moment.
Look, he lost his rhythm there in the beginning. To the middle. Whoa, blood. We haven't seen anyone use that ledge like that either.
And he's got that speed. He's just going to corners of the course that no one else has seen.
Yeah, I mean, no one's been using that ramp as a quarter pipe. And there he goes, frontside ollie alley-oop over the makeshift channel. If he put that run together, that really could be a winning run.
100%. I'm with you there. I'm backing it. For me, I mean, he's come up under a couple of the big mentors of Essex skateboarding, Cole Wilson and then Mark Munson, Mark Munson's got all those transition skills. You see people like Ben Ramers coming out of there, and Jordan's come up watching all of that skating. It was one of the hotbeds of concrete back in the 70s, so it's got these deep roots of skating. You can see that really, really creative style in Jordan Thackeray's skating. And if he can put this run together, then it's going to be a thing of beauty.
That was pretty impressive too right there, that front feeble. And then this thing, this like pirouette disaster. That could be extremely dangerous, by the way.
The potential to hang up when you're committed on one foot.
It's almost guaranteed.
Okay, so Jordan Thackeray, not the run he wanted, but it'll be interesting to see how did the judges score that? It's so different to everything else we've seen.
Well, I think they're going to mark him way down because of the number of falls there. But if he were to put it all together, it would be really hard to gauge that against Grayson. Totally different styles, but both equally as difficult and impressive.
So 64 points, 9th place for Jordan Thackeray. Doesn't look too stressed about that. Complete technophobe, doesn't own a mobile phone. Almost impossible to get a hold of. Look at this. This man has been tearing around the course like an F-14 fighter jet under full afterburner. Let's hear from Leon Pace.
This is like a contest I wanted to go to for years because like I ride a BMX park as like my local, and like most of this stuff is stuff that I'm used to. But like, I mean, this is way bigger, but still, that's what I learned how to skate after breaking my leg, which took me out for a while in 2015. So like, this is just skates better than any other contest for me, and I'm super stoked, like, amazing. Like,
you watched him, Tony. He's so fast, but somehow he's packing the tricks in at the same time.
He looks very comfortable on this course, like you said. It is a bit of a throwback sort of BMX course, especially through this. Look at that eggplant. You're not going to see anyone else doing even a hand plant there, and he ups the difficulty with eggplant. And then hitting the vert like a true veteran.
Tell you one thing that shows his transition skill, just stepping down out of that spine ramp area. Did it so smoothly, so much harder than it looks.
And then here, keeping his speed up, going back to the spine. Indy 540, are you kidding? We haven't even seen any basic vert tricks on that wall. And then he goes for Indy 5, and then into it, 180, front cap, over the hip. I mean, this is it. This is where he steps it up, and this is kind of where he's got an advantage over everyone else because he's got those types of tricks and this ledge stuff.
Unbelievable full speed attack from Liam Pace.
And you can see him just going through the motions. He already had this run in mind. He's been practicing it. Feeble, it's just more like, all right, check that box, here we go.
So the kid from Tucson, Arizona on an absolute flyer at the moment.
He's got barely time for one more. I think he's gonna run out before he hits anything. But he's gonna do it for the crowd. Some big transfer.
Cameraman missed it. Looked like he transferred.
That was not gonna count, but he did basically transferred all the way over to that strange step-up dish ramp.
That is the only other person I've seen do that was in BMX Park.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see anyone else trying that.
That is insane.
Hopefully the crowds at home can see it somewhere.
So
you can see where he lands too. He lands so high on that Indy 3 because he needs the speed to get his hand on the top.
That was the section that blew my mind. How much speed he carried back uphill through those obstacles into the 540.
Into Indy 5. I mean, this is probably the winning run already. And then here's that big transfer all the way over. Oh, I thought he went into that dish part. I see.
And still, look at it.
It's huge. Yeah, it's huge, and it's dangerous. There's a lot of stuff in the way there.
We're losing a bit of perspective because it's going away from us. I reckon that's 9 meters. I reckon it's got to be 9 meters, like 25 feet. That's huge.
It's pretty huge.
Okay, waiting for the scores to come in for Liam Pace. Bigger than Grayson?
Probably bigger than Grayson. It's debatable. I don't think they'll count that last run.
But he can add it.
88. Wow, that's a huge jump though from Grayson.
Well, we talked about it. We've got this log jam between 70 and 78. Then we've got Grayson was the only rider up in the 80s, and now Liam Pace has put a full, well, nearly full 8 points between him and Grayson. So Jaime Mateo in third, Aurelien Giraud. Interestingly, all of the names we pulled out after first run are there or thereabouts at the moment. Aurelien Giraud, definitely one to watch because we could see what his run could be.
Absolutely, but like I said, Liam, he can do the big stuff, he can do the tech stuff. I seriously doubt anyone's going to score higher than 88.2 at this point, seeing what everyone else has put together.
Okay, we're going to come back with second runs very shortly, but we're going to take a quick break now while you check this out.
Raw and on the level. 8 riders from 5 different countries, shredding the world. From Europe to the US, from the Canary Islands to Israel, from Morocco to South Africa. 4 years in the making, bringing skate cinematography back to its roots. Where We Come From, remastered, now available on Red Bull TV.
Drew Bezanson on his way to one of the most remarkable mountain bike competitions, Red Bull Joyride. They say it takes 10,000 hours to become a master.
Did I underestimate it? Sure, yes I did. They're just seeing the finished product. They're not seeing the last 20 years of riding a bicycle.
His foray into the world of slopestyle, the learning curve, Drew Bezanson, now available on Red Bull TV.
Every day is something different. And every day there's like a new spot where you can see something and say, I gotta come back to do that.
Creativity, inspired by life on the road. Away days, now available on Red Bull TV.
Welcome back to Tallinn in Estonia. I like to call it a cultural melting pot. We are here for the skate finals. Joining me is one of skateboarding's true legends, Tony Hawk.
Thank you. It's been it's my first time here. I'm super excited, and the level of skating is way beyond what I expected.
It's phenomenal, isn't it, when you actually look at the names on the list? And I'll admit it, there's 3 or 4 here that I haven't seen skate before, but the standard across the board, cutting 50 down to 12, has been phenomenal.
It's refreshing, too. It's refreshing to see some new faces, some new names, and the way that they're taking sort of old school style and bringing it into their own and making it into this big course. I mean, that's something very unique.
Yeah, we've got that full creative vibe with Jordan Thackeray. We've got a real street vibe with Aurélien Giraud, and then we've just got that turbocharged Liam Pace run. We can take a look now at some of the lines from the first runs, and a lot. I mean, this is a vast course, and we can see like.
Yeah, so this is the line I think is probably the best for keeping your speed up. Starting there, going all the way over the kicker, and then coming up into the spine area. That's basically what you see Liam doing, and then over to the step up into the quarter pipe, and then hitting the rails in the street, sort of near the middle to the end. It seems like that sets them up because they can keep their energy up and they don't have to be pumping through the transitions at the end when they're so tired.
We saw that with Luis Neto, didn't we? He started on that smaller side, worked all of the street obstacles, and it was almost like he was out of energy by the time he got to the transitions.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff is exhausting, and especially these big transitions, you've got to be using your legs to get all the speed and make sure you're landing good.
Okay, we can take a look now. You can see Grayson Fletcher up on the deck. We can take a look at what this course looks like from his point of view. This is phenomenal.
What's up? This is Matters, Simple Session 2019.
What's up? Grayson Fletcher here, and this is a GoPro course preview.
And a little cameo in there from Madar's Apps as well. Great to see him skating, a legend of this region, the Latvian. Grayson Fletcher going to open us up again, second place at the moment. I mean, he tore through this park, Tony. Where do you think he can improve the run?
I think that if he can maybe hit the rails a little more, maybe one more pass at him. But he really did what he set out to accomplish. He made his whole run, and like I said, you see Grayson usually sort of throwing caution to the wind and going, you know, if you ain't first, you're last.
Look at that. Hold on a second. Jordan Thackeray has just handed Grayson Fletcher his board.
Well, it's you know, it's funny. My wife just sent me a close-up of his board, and on that disaster he did on his first run, you could see it break. So he broke his board, and it's strange that just now is when he decides to change his board. Or, you know, he had plenty of time to maybe set up a new one, but it kind of shows his versatility that he can just pick up any board. Maybe not.
Well, it is one of the hardest things in the world to jump on a board. The trucks are like fingerprints. They're completely unique to every person. So you can see him kind of just giving the board a little bit of a wobble there, trying to get a feel for it.
I feel like he's just got to, he needs a quiver here. We'll try a different one, see what happens. Yeah, that is so risky to just jump on someone else's board. Going for a kickflip, no grab on a forward skateboard.
It's such a pleasure to watch. I mean, all of these guys out here are incredibly talented, but Grayson Fletcher has the kind of grace and spontaneity that makes skateboarding beautiful.
And like I said, Grayson's attitude is being first or last. It's just, he's not going to hold back. Oh, what is going on there? I love how he just wants to get the hardest trick done. Doesn't matter if it's part of his run. It doesn't matter if it's after time. That's skateboarding. That's the attitude. It's very unorthodox.
This is what makes Simple Session so magic. Grayson Fletcher, the time is up, but his session isn't.
I can't tell if he's trying to do a double flip or not. Here it is. Kickflip, no grab. No, it's not going to work.
There we go. Grayson Fletcher. All of his energy went into that first run. It's banked him an 81.8, which at the moment is good enough for second position. Still 11 skaters left to drop behind him, though, for their second runs here at Simple Session 19. Grayson Fletcher putting on a show for us regardless.
I can't believe it. The moment he chose to get a new skateboard was when they called his name.
It's like, oh yeah, I need another one. So Jordan Thackeray going to take his board back there. It's like, yeah, you look like you had it. Carsten Boyer on the left-hand side of the screen will be up in a minute, but before that, we'll have, if memory serves, Jarkko Ojunen. Finnish skater took a very, very steady pace on his first run. It was tech, it was building, but he made a couple of small mistakes. It'll be interesting to see what he can do with this second run. So, 23 points for Grayson Fletcher, if you're interested. I don't think anyone really was. It's more about the kickflip over the mini mega.
I have a feeling we might see him still try that, even though his runs are over.
Yeah, just a little poach here and there, see if you can find that. So, Jarkko Ojunen, Finland's finest from Tampere. Got a lovely square style. Really solid stance.
Oh, I don't know what was going on there. It looked like a backsmith, possibly big flip out. Just all or nothing here. Second run, let it fly. There's that backside nose blunt, transfer onto the deck. Oh, to a switch flip.
Oh, wow. He's locking back in now. Oh!
Yeah, like I said, he will not let any obstacle go untouched.
Oh, he's got so much compressed into that tiny little area. So many tricks.
Yeah, if there's one bobble at all, if his foot's off, it kind of cancels the rest of it out.
I got the feeling that he could have sounded.
Oh, nose blunt down the pole jam. That is insanely difficult.
I've never seen that before. I think that's an MBD, well, MBD from Simple Session, certainly for the pole jam.
Wow. It's cool, you know, even if you have a tough time like this, it's cool that something like that could outshine the run. Because I am still sitting here utterly impressed about that one trick.
The joy of being able to offer everyone in here something. Crowd really enjoying that run from Jarkko Ojunen. The Finn not able to put it down in either of his runs, but as you said, Tony, leaving everyone with some pretty insane tricks there. I'm sure that one will come out in best trick later on. Just floating out of here. There's that style again. I've used the word languid already, but I think it would apply to Jarkko as well.
Yeah, it does look, he looks very loose.
He looks like a jaguar in between hunts.
Look at this, and there's just no time for setup here with that switch flip, and immediately back into a roll-in. And here's that nose blunt into the pole jam, properly grinding it too. It wasn't like he just cleared it for show. He really did grind down it.
Yeah, and the front truck rammed into that little lip there. It wasn't that smooth, was it?
I don't know how you could make that smooth.
51.6, so second run is down to experience. Jarkko Ojunen won't go any higher than 7th. This man certainly has the arsenal of tricks to go bigger than 4th. Can he lay it down though? Aurélien Giraud of France. He was in Rio for SLS earlier in the month, managed to get 4th there against the big guns of street. Now he's mixing it up with some transition.
Whoa, 360, you saw his back foot actually come off there. And he put it back on, he had plenty of time in the air. In the air, looks like he's trying to just stay on, not make it go too big.
He's ticked the transition box. Now he's in more familiar territory.
Yeah, there it is, just banging out the rail tricks. Tying his shoe? Is that part of the run?
Well, the tick on his shirt, we're pleased with the little shout out for it anyway.
Here we go, 270 lip slide. This run's looking good so far.
Grayson just giving him a little bit of advance there, it looked like.
What would you say? Oh, look at that hard flip all the way to flat.
Such beautiful style, made that look so easy on the way down.
Oh, no, missing the frontside feeble. He didn't leave himself a lot of extra time with all of that stall on the deck there, because right here, he's going to run out of time before he hits the big jump again. And this is not going to count, but it's a nice kickflip Indy.
Big crowd pleaser.
And an alley-oop backside flip.
The Saku Hall here in Estonia lighting up with that last trick. So one bail in there, less than the first run, and I think in places more technical. The score's got to go up. It's a question of how much.
Probably, yeah, but like I said, he spent a lot of time on the opposite decks. Look at this one. I love how he corrects his foot. And then big frontside tweak. So comfortable with the overcrook. And same with this, backside 270 lip slide. A hard flip all the way to the bottom.
It's got that kind of shifted hatch on it beautifully, hasn't he?
And here's the kickflip Indy that didn't count, but we loved it.
Okay, so Aurelian watching the jumbo, wait for that score to drop.
I think that was a better run for me, so he should bump up a little bit. We'll see where he's at. There's the judges.
Judges look like they're done. Oh no, Bam and Dan Cates having a debate down at the end there. We were thinking earlier that Bam may be using emojis and pentagrams to score.
That run could put him in third though.
Okay, currently in fourth. Moment.
And this is where we're going to know exactly how much a fall counts, because he only had one fall in that whole run.
Yeah, and it was, I think it was 2, maybe 3 bails in the first run was 77.8, and the bail came right at the end. He had some really, really big technical tricks. I think one of the judges signed off on the scores then. Bam and Dan are done debating on what it is. Aurelian just getting his Insta stories of himself on the jumbo dialed in.
There it is. Put him in third. 80 even.
Okay, so he overhauls Jaime Mateo, the Spaniard, in third. So right now he's sitting just behind Grayson Fletcher and Liam Pace.
I mean, just tell us, what were you thinking when you were in the course? Did you plan it or did you just drop in?
I don't know, like, I'm just going and see what's gonna happen.
Are you happy? Are you happy with the third place right now?
Yeah, always happy to be there, you know. Like, it's very sick to be with those guys, and we always have fun out there.
Well, congratulations. It's all about having fun, isn't it?
Thank you so much.
I love listening to Thule. The more excited she gets, the faster she talks. And she is definitely getting excited down there. Course side, ringside seats for a heavyweight battle here at Simple Session 19. Carsten Boyer getting ready to drop in. We're in the middle of the second runs here. The kid out of Texas put down a very nice first run. Couple of falls cost him, but there were the makings of a great run there. 57.8.
Yeah, he wants to he wants to make everything that he tried last time, because you can tell that he had it very well planned out. Just didn't quite come together. And as much as you'd like to think that these guys are being spontaneous, that is rare on a course like this. It's usually all planned out. That Smith grind on the forbidden rail.
It's a much bigger drop than it looks off the back there.
Wow, he's got that crooked fakey every time. Nice, frontside blunt slide. All this stuff, you know, it looks like he's going slow, but those tricks are super technical. They require exactly that amount of speed, and the judges know that. Oh,
there it is.
50, backs at 180.
And he lost out on that last time, didn't he? Good to see him put that one down. It's starting to link together now, this run.
Oh, nose blunt slide. He wanted to goof around, but realized he still has time to throw something else in there.
So I can pull this one up. I'm not going for the wooden spoon. He's currently in 12.
Oh, no, missing that big spin front board. It would have been nice to see him pull those last two tricks to see what judges would have thought. But that run was better than his first, for sure.
Yeah, interesting to see where he can move up to. And I mean, we talked about how we have these all-terrain vehicles these days. Someone like Aurélien Giraud, who you know is a street skater, but he comes out and he has got transition smarts. And then you see the same thing from Grayson Fletcher, giving a lot of lip service to all of the rails. But on top of that all-round ability, what we're seeing here is consistency. An incredible level of consistency.
True, but it also his rail tricks would have really shined. I think that they would have counted for much more than the stuff we saw Grayson do anyway, because it was so tech, you know, when he's doing those big spin front boards and the crooked grind coming down the big side, like all that stuff counts for a lot.
Okay, so only a slight improvement, 58.8. So Carsten stays in 12th. He's laughing it off for the moment. I know for a fact, we've talked about it a little bit, but this is as much a festival of skateboarding as BMX as it is a contest. And certainly Carsten Boyer will have enjoyed the experience of being out here. Next in, Chris Gregson.
It's really fun to see Chris skate the contest because he is so focused on filming a lot of the time. You know, he's the go-to filmer for any of the transition guys. But he is one of the best skaters as well. Look at that, with frontside blunt up on the vert wall. The only one we've seen doing that. And then this, frontside flip disaster every time. Oh, no!
Gutted. I'm glad to hear the DJ's given him some metal as well. I think he must have requested that. If you go and watch any Chris Gregson parts, they will guaranteed give you some metal.
Yeah, he definitely is born from the Shep Dogs crew.
Is it Masher, his dog?
Masher?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just talking about the Oceanside crew that my son Riley's part of. Oh, wow! Kickflip. Kickflip, frontside disaster, backside revert. That's a best trick banger right there. I think Chris is going to throw it away.
Letting that one go. The man who filmed a lot of the Sorry video. That was his first big production, wasn't it? He was filming with Rowley. He said that was quite an intense process.
Well, I think it's intense for, you know, especially when you're doing transition type of stuff and park skating. He's working just as hard as the skater to get through the course. And so if someone's trying something for 2 hours, he's putting in just as much effort keeping up with them.
The style on that first one. Just really flattening the method off.
And this frontside blunt on the vert wall. There's no room for error there.
He slammed on that yesterday in qualies, didn't he? Got it in the second run, but and he went down pretty hard.
As you do. Frontside blunts are no joke.
Yep. He managed to, he found a tablespoon of concrete, drank that, hardened up, and got it stuck on the second run. So, scores coming in. No improvement for Chris Gregson. Oh, no, there was. I think 71 point. Oh no, it was the first run score. 71.4 for Chris Gregson keeps him
46.
Yeah,
we're going to just throw that one away.
Both you and I said that we felt that was quite low. Definitely stuck to the transition, but the level of difficulty. Okay. Next up, Keyshawn Johnson. You can see it there in the 40 club. That's 40 inches of ollie. This guy has some serious pop.
Nice. We call that the Del Mar Indy or chicken wing. Straight into the rails. Nice. Smith grind.
And a complete lap of the park almost.
5-0. If you can't hear it, he's skating to Fu Manchu Evil Eye, a THPS classic. You see.
I did notice that the other day as soon as you got on the ramp, the
Whoa!
The Pro Skater Classics came out.
Look at this, he's putting it together here.
Wow.
Did that board slide up the rail, Smith grind right there.
I tell you what, the fitness is, he's got some good cardio as well because he has not slowed down. What do we got?
Oh, trying that front crook down the rails. Maybe time for another one? No, maybe not.
3 seconds in.
So that's going to improve his first score, but it's not quite the run he was hoping for.
15 years deep for Keyshawn Johnson. He's been making finals regularly here in Tallinn, Estonia. And like you said, it's not going to be a vintage one for Keyshawn, but first, I mean, he must have been, what, 12, 13 tricks deep before he came off? Maybe more.
Yeah, for sure. They've got to give him some credit for all these tricks right here. Look at that clean 5-0, and then just missing the frontside crook on the rail after that.
I think we're going to see him move up a little bit. Currently sat in 11th on a 63. It's not going to take much because we've got that real log jammer scores. There it is, 70.6. Moves up into 9th. So just behind Chris Gregson in 8th. At the moment, we've got some, I'll tell you what, we've got two heavy hitters underneath him though. Joseph Garbaciak and Jordan Thackeray still to drop. But right now, it's the Italian, beautiful style, Ivan Federico.
And he's definitely keeping it loose here. Oh, going for the 360 kickflip. I was going to say, I saw him set up his feet, and I thought, well, that's taking a chance for your first trick there. But maybe he feels pretty confident with his first run, and he wanted to step it up.
They're currently in 5th on a 75.4. I think you're at that point where you just think, right, I can let it all go here. I've got one conservative score in the bag.
So here we go, going for that kickflip 360 melon. Over the kicker, nope, not gonna happen.
Needs to find that rhythm.
And he's gonna give up on that one. I feel like he's got something in mind here.
Yes.
Because at this point, he's not gonna try a run, he's just gonna try a stunt. Here he goes. Oh, he wants to do a lip slide. Oh, a tail slide, wow, that's huge. Up on this dish here. Oh, that's gonna be it. So but you got to give him credit. He knew he had to step it up, so he had to throw out his hardest thing, and that means he begins with the kickflip 360 melon. Super risky trick for anyone, even when you got it wired.
It's the thing that really impresses me about someone like Ivan is he comes from Kaluso, a little town just north of Turin, and he grew up skating a mini ramp and a vert ramp that his mum and dad built in a tennis court. And he said the other day, I skated on my own 90% of the time. And to have that drive and that passion to do that, I mean, it's interesting. There are parallels to draw with you in a sense because there were times when skateboarding, especially vert, was so unfashionable that you were skating on your own.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, I grew up kind of skating like that because when I grew up skating, it wasn't popular at all. You couldn't make a living at it, you couldn't have a career at it. And so when we were at the park, there were only a handful of us that were even trying anything. So I got used to being isolated like that, and definitely through the sort of ups and downs, that wasn't foreign to me to just go skating alone or with only 2 people.
And it takes a special kind of drive. Well, we're looking at the standings here. Liam Pace still to drop. Aurélien Giraud and Grayson Fletcher already gone. Jaime Mateo and Luis Neto still to go, so they can move their way up. Out of this, for me, I think Jordan Thackeray and Joseph Garbaciak can really shift some gears.
Yeah, I'm sure they're disappointed in their first runs, and they know what's going to take to up those scores. And I would hesitate to say they're going to go all out, but they're definitely going to have to increase the difficulty of what they had in mind.
Yeah, Liam Pace at the moment has that real luxury, sat in top spot, and he's going to be last to drop. So we're looking for some of those boys. For me, I think Jaime Mateo to put some pressure on. First in, though, it's going to be Luis Neto, the street skater out of Florianopolis. Third simple session appearance.
Go, look at that, straight into the 270 lip.
Ridiculously tech.
So, it makes it look so easy. Frontside flip on the bank. And then back on this rail, back lip, looking solid. Right there, sort of checking the boxes of the rails. Now what? Oh, trying that big flip, frontside board slide. Yeah, even those little tricks right there, like that nollie 360 on the quarter pipe, counts for something. Oh, hard flip, back lip. He's gonna try that big flip from forward again. Got it. So we only saw one fall, and he managed to get a redemption on it. If he makes some big stuff on these tranny parts, that'll definitely up his score. Go.
If we said about it,
frontside varial.
He was manhandling that. I thought for a second he'd taken too long with it.
We call that the illusion. That's the Kevin Staub signature frontside varial. I want to say that's gonna better his score, but he's in that middle zone where you can't. It would be hard for the judges to score much higher. Because, and I don't know if that was better than Yvonne's run or not.
Yeah, 73
didn't have very much room for that.
A lot more mistakes in his first run, though. I think he's got to improve. And he's... I'll be interested to get inside Dan Cates' head and ask him about this, because it's where you put your most difficult tricks. I feel like Luis came out with some... As Ivan Federico wanted to, he came out with some of his hardest tricks in the first 5 there.
Yeah, he only had one miss, so I gotta say his score is gonna be up there. I'm gonna put him closer to 4th or even 3rd. Doubtful though, with one fall.
Okay, we can go down court side now with Thule. She is with Luis Neto now.
Same score. Oh, he got a little bit higher, but not enough to bump him up a place. 74.2.
Okay, let's go down and see Thule, who's with Luis Neto now.
Which part of the course is your favorite?
The down rail, the red one. Favorite, perfect rail.
I mean, the judges told me before that you can blink per second and you actually just like lose a tick. We're gonna get the scores in a few seconds. What do you think it's gonna be?
I hope better than the first one, because I think my second run was better.
Okay. Well, your score is 72.4. So you're in the 6th place. How you feel? Congratulations. I mean, you did good.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good. Perfect. I'm stoked to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I've got to say, Luis Neto's face said something different to his mouth then. He looked a little bit disappointed by that score.
Yeah, well, it was a very, very small increase. We're talking about 0.4 tenths of point.
Okay, so Luis Neto does not move positions. Rests in 6th place there. Got a couple of the boys here. Jaime Mateo warming up, just trying to get those legs ready for the punishment he is about to inflict on them. This guy, I think it's fair to say he's got a solid dose of Nar about him.
Yeah, fearlessness.
100%. So Jaime drops in.
3, whoa, getting squirrely there.
Oh, and he's missed out on that alley-oop that he wanted to.
It's all right, he's still on. But yeah, definitely looking like he's letting his nerves get the better of him. There's that 360. Yeah, like I said, it's more likely to land low on that trick, but he managed to pull it off. Whoa, there's a transfer we haven't seen.
Love that one.
He's so committed to this line that you can just tell that he's forcing his wheels over just to get to where he planned to go.
Yeah, it's almost as if he's kind of bulldozing this run at the moment. Not quite as fluid as his first one, but it's still working.
Backside bonus revert, doing a little hop to get around. 270, barely staying on that ramp. I mean, you couldn't see it from that angle, but he was on the edge.
And
he hasn't fallen.
He's still in there, but he's got to get back if he wants to get that boneless caveman.
And here we go, splatting on the wall. But landing really high. I think he hit his truck there.
10 seconds left to try and get up the top.
Now
Can he do it?
Boneless. Here it is. Switch boneless 180 in.
Oh! Wow! That was brutal. He landed in the compression.
Looked like he landed in a roller coaster.
Oh!
But I don't think that trick, I don't think that was going to count for so much that he thought it was. Like, I feel like that was an extra bonus more for the crowd. I don't think the judges are going to think that was the most difficult of the other tricks compared to the stuff like this Indy 3. And his spine transfer. Now watch how low he lands here. That's right, like lower than halfway.
And he still had to try and get something on the back foot to pump what was left of the transition.
But all of these right here, that front board, I mean, this is the meat of the run right here, especially this with the bonus 360.
Unreal. Love that trick. It's so easy to get caught up in that, and then to have the faith in your own ability to drop blind into the transition.
Absolutely. Here we go. Switch boneless 180. This is so Ben Rayborn right here.
Look at him. You can see the frustration in the vibrations of his hair.
The thing that makes that more difficult, it's not the size of the transition he's landing on. It's that once it goes down, it starts to go back up again. There's a little lump, sort of dip.
If you're out at all, you've got a tiny pump bump after the transition,
right. And that's what makes it way harder.
Oh, look!
So you can tell that if that were just flat, right there on the bottom, he would have made it. But he's running into a mogul, basically.
So he did improve his run score. He got into the 80s, 80.4. But Jaime Mateo, he wants this one so badly. Switch boneless. Oh! And the Saku Arena lights up for the Spaniard. Tosses his board over the fence.
That was enough to put him in third. That actually bumped him up.
So Aurélien Giraud,
he's going to have his work cut out for him. He's going to end up in the top 3 places now.
So Joseph Garbaciak, as raw as Carpaccio. So the link says. So he's so clean yesterday, so solid. A lot of pressure on him now. The young Frenchman has to deliver in this run. See what he's got. Oh!
Big Indy tweak.
And turning the quarter pipe air down.
And there's that still fish, backside 360 every time.
I don't like
to a bean plant. I don't know if we're going to see any other bean plants this event.
I thought they were almost extinct. I love how tricks come back. We saw a couple of Benihanas in qualifying as well. I thought they were possibly the most unfashionable trick in the world.
Yeah, that's surprising. Oh, missing that backsmith. Well, that's looking good up to here, though.
And that was one of the tricks he aced last time. Made it look really, really good.
.50. He's got that every time. And frontside feeble. If he can stay on the rest of this run, this still could improve his last score.
100%.
There you go. Oh, there you go. 270 lip slide into a revert out. That's the only one we've seen today. We haven't seen him do it.
Okay. Garbaciak going back to the transition.
Oh, there it is. Kickflip Indy. I think that's going to better his score. We saw him flail a little bit on his last run and get that trick after time. This time he landed it within time. That's definitely, I mean, he's not going to be in 10th anymore. I don't know if he's going to bump into the top 3.
Yeah, threshold for 3 is 80.4. We just saw that from Jaime Mateo. And when you compare those 2 runs, well, who knows? This one's super tech.
It is. this is going to be telling of how much the judges are going to score down his fall.
Love that frontside feeble.
And this one, 270 and then 270 out. Perfect. Kickflip indie. Landing, we call that a deck check.
Okay, we've got a little cam up at the judges, and apparently it's going off up there. They are whirring. We'll see if we can find the judges cam. I don't think we've got one to ghost across it, but looks like Joseph Garbaciak's looking up there. Okay, it's calmed down now. Bam looks like he might have been defeated by Dan Cates, who stands up to assert his dominance over the pack. Dan Cates is the head judge. Aurelien Giraud stood down there with Joseph Garbaciak. What's he gonna go?
There it is, bumps him up into third place, 81.00. I gotta say, I agree with that.
There were some big technical tricks in there.
The rail stuff, that was impressive. And imagine if he hadn't fallen.
Okay, so at the moment, a podium place for Joseph Garbaciak. Only one rider left to drop who can topple Liam Pace, who's currently occupying the top spot. Jordan Thackeray from Essex in Great Britain had an incredible qualifying run. Didn't find the tricks he wanted in his first run. He's got this last run of 75 seconds to overhaul Liam Pace. Currently sat on a 64. He needs to bump that up to a minimum 81 if he wants to make the podium. And I mean, Tony, his trick draw, it looked more like one of those rolling toolboxes. He just had so many different draws he was reaching into.
He does. He has a lot of options, especially on the quarter pipes. He seems to just dance on his board when he's up on the lip.
So, a true historian of skateboarding, draws on tricks from every era. Looks relaxed.
Yeah, crossbone. It's a big indie air up on the wall ride. And what is this going to be? Nice tailfish into the spine. That's really hard to get the speed for and to get the speed out of.
Just flowing through that spine section and down into the rails.
Look at that front board, just full speed. Nice nose blunt. That was a pretty risky one. That was a lot of speed to ollie into a nose blunt.
Yeah, he was coming down with a bit of force.
Back to this quarter pipe. Whoa! Body barrel disaster. Oh man, that was amazing.
That was one out of the top drawer for sure. Like a whole list of tricks you just won't see from anyone else coming from the feet of Jordan Thackeray at the moment.
That was very cool. That's a rare trick we ever see on a mini ramp, especially not on vert. And then he wants that frontside alley-oop over the channel. All of these tricks are really, it takes a deep appreciation for skate culture to do these tricks or to understand them, and they're all difficult. You know, even though they're old, right there, that alley-oop frontside ollie is something that was created in the late 80s, and hardly anyone does it.
It's a beautiful thing, and as we said on the first run, there's so much heritage and culture in Essex with skating. Romford Skate Park for a start. There's so many heads have come out of there. Jordan undoubtedly a product of that. Lovely, letting that back leg hang down. And that was the trick where it unraveled in the first run.
Right, and this is pretty cool. He turns the ledge into a wall bash, backside blunt, and then right here, frontside ollie, alley-oop. This trick is so difficult. You can't see where you're going. It's hard to keep your feet on, and it can go tragic.
And the pop off the vert as well. The board's inverted, and you're just using that front leg to try and guide it through. So 69.2 second run score for Jordan Thackeray. It's not going to improve his position at the moment. It's 11th place.
Liam Pace is in a victory lap. He's already won this thing.
That is it. You called it from the start. It was an easy decision in the end. Liam Pace. Let's see if we get something difficult. I get the feeling he's not going to let this one go.
Right there, going for a tomahawk into the eggplant. Now what? Oh, what is this? 180 into Cap Melon. This is for the crowd, but he's still stepping it up. He doesn't, he's not cruising it.
You saw it on the graphic there. He attended 0 parties in Tallinn this week. That could explain why he's won, or it could be this level of skating.
Indy 5. Wow, 180 into the cap. That was the only trick that I did not see him fall on all practice. He almost had too much speed for the cowboy aerial. Not that it matters. Nice, crooked grind up the ledge.
Well, he won the gold at X Games last year in the Next Generation contest, and he's delivered on the promise he showed there, stepping up into the big leagues this year. This kid has a bright future ahead of him. Give it up for Liam Pace, ladies and gentlemen. A victory lap for the kid from Tucson, Arizona. Very, very impressive for the 18-year-old. Where's my hat?
That's the Tom Shar technique. Just lose your hat somewhere in the run.
So here it is. Yeah, that's a thick head of hair, isn't it?
I thought he grabbed both hands there. That was a Christ air. And then this, even without plenty of speed, he can pull it off. This is pretty amazing though, where he has enough speed to do this cab melon grab. And then showing that he's got the street skills with the crook up the ledge. It just shows that you can come here, you can have the attitude of someone who is truly training and getting stuff wired and not fly by night and come through successful, because a lot of people will come with more of a spontaneous attitude. I might try my best stuff, I might not, and Liam just through and through had this focus and had a run in mind and did it.
Well, there it is, confirmation of the standings. Liam Pace in first, Grayson Fletcher with that first run score of 81.8. Phenomenal run from him. Joseph Garbaciak bumping right up the standings from 10th to 3rd with his second run. Jaime Mateo down there in 4th. Disappointment for Jordan Thackeray, but a truly entertaining run from him. Going back to that discussion, I mean, I've heard you talk about it before, and I don't think it's any coincidence that yourself, Kelly Slater, Teddy Harkinson across skateboarding, snowboarding and surfing were never the guys who are partying heaps, and you've had the longest careers and you've got the furthest.
Well, it's definitely easy to get caught up in those distractions, especially when you're young, and for sure I had my share of that. I kind of lived through 2 generations of skating, but I didn't always have, skating was always the priority. And I did see plenty of my friends and my contemporaries lose their focus and lose their abilities when they got caught up in those distractions, and it's something you got to think of, and it's hard. Suddenly you're young, thrust into the spotlight, and there's all these things you didn't really imagine, or maybe those were your drives to get there. But at some point you got to realize that you got there because you're skating, and you got to prioritize your skating over all else, and that's how you have longevity.
Well, it's worked for Liam Pace today. He has won the day. Thule is with him now.
I mean, congratulations, amazing. You're such a freaking amazing person to watch on the skateboard.
Thank you so much.
So creative. Did you plan your course? Did you just drop in and just went for it?
I kind of had a run set, but I had no clue about the last half if I was going to even land any of it, because I was struggling in practice, and I fell pretty hard like the first day of practice, so words can't describe how I feel right now.
So you told me before that you ride a similar park at home. Do you think you had like a benefit in this course because of that?
I mean, maybe, I don't know. I think it's just having fun. Like, that's what this contest was about to me. So like, it was just stress-free. Like, whatever happened, happened, and I'm just astonished at what actually like came out of it.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And Liam Pace wins skateboarding today because he's having the most fun.
Yeah, and he practiced the hardest. He trained, you know, whether you like it or not. He was training, and he came through, and that's what it's going to take to win an event like the Olympics.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break now. When we come back, we're going to be pulling the meat off the bones of everything you've just seen. Join us for the post-show in just a moment.
The Marseille Bowl, one of the most iconic skateboarding stages in the world.
This is not just a piece of concrete, this is like a museum of skateboarding.
We trace its history with the legends who shredded it over the past 25 years.
Well, for me, a pool is the heart of modern skating.
Back to the Bowl, a Marseille skate legend, now available on Red Bull TV. Pump up your tires for the world of Red Bull. The best live events, feature films, and shows. Make it your world and download the app for free. Red Bull TV is available on all your devices, anywhere, at any time. Go beyond the ordinary. Get the app now. This February, we live for competition. Be ready for a month of live events. Speed, style, and precision are the key to victory. Red Bull Crashed Ice.
Oh, there's carnage up there.
Simple Session.
He's got what it takes.
Red Bull Play Streets.
Wow, this is skiing on the edge.
World Rally Championship.
You've got the appetite for a fight.
Burton US Open.
Oh my goodness!
Who will carve their name in history?
Amazing style and stomps.
Oh wow!
Join us this February on Red Bull TV.
Welcome back. Myself and Tony Hawk running you through all of the proceedings that you've just seen. Finals absolutely blew our mind. We can take a look at some of those, well, the podium runs. If we start with Joseph Garbaciak, that French powerhouse, came in here, and I actually hadn't seen him before. I'd seen a couple of little clips of him, but he threw down that second run and it was super clean.
Yeah, it was all we'd hoped for, and I honestly hadn't heard of him either until we got here, and he proved himself to be super consistent and well-rounded, using all the park, and it was fun to see a new face in there.
The second place, I thought it was going to be potentially the winning run straight out of the box. Grayson Fletcher, you said sometimes he'll turn it on, sometimes he'll back off, and he definitely turned it on.
I don't think he ever backs off. I think sometimes he just turns it up too much. is what we saw in his second run as well, where he just was trying, like, he grabbed a foreign board, tried to do huge flips, but his first run was all that right here with the transfer that no one had even considered yet.
And then this first place, Liam Pace. You called it right from the start, but he never put a foot wrong.
Well, these runs happened every time in practice too. I mean, you could just see that he was training himself to get it so dialed that it just becomes second nature, and he proved it right here. And then kind of threw some flair in there at the on the second run with the Christ air over the kicker. But he was exciting to watch. He used the whole course, kept his speed up, stayed consistent, and it was pretty obvious that he was going to win it.
Another vintage simple session. It's also worth mentioning that the winner here, Liam Pace, is going to get a spot in the Munich MASH event, Red Bull Roller Coaster. If you missed that last year, it's a complete hybrid sport. It's a downhill vert street kind of park contest that tests everyone. Newcomer Jake Hilardi out of Florida won it last year. I think it was Danny Leon in second and Curran Caples in third. Well worth checking that one out, end of June, and Liam Pace will be there. I think his style's going to suit that.
Yeah, I mean, he probably was hoping to get there from here. That was the goal, because I'm sure he's going to shine there.
Okay, we've got a couple of other things on Red Bull TV if you want to check them out. We've got Crashed Ice, last event of the season happening in Fenway Park in Boston. It's the oldest stadium in Major League Baseball, and the athletes are going to be fighting for victory on a 610-meter or 2,000-foot course. It's always a good time. Absolute carnage. You ever been to one of those?
No.
I've actually tried it. It was the most dignity-stripping experience of my life.
It just looks like chaos. It looks like you're definitely going to get hurt, no matter how good you are.
You need the hockey pads, put it that way.
I'll watch it, thank you.
Okay, this has been Simple Session 19, the skate finals. Later on today, we've got the BMX Street and Park finals coming up. I'll be changing out Tony for Chris Doyle. He is one of the most stylish men ever to throw his leg over a BMX. Don't forget as well, next year will be the 20th anniversary of Simple Session. We'll see you then for the next skate final. In the meantime, all that's left for us to say is thank you very much, Tony.
Thank you, thanks for having me, that was a blast.
Okay, look at that. Oh, actually, we're not going yet. We get to see 20 years of Simple Session from its very beginnings. That's Madar's abs in 2004 as a kid. Some of the best skaters in Europe have come out here and made a name for themselves. It's actually been the place where most of the Russian skaters have been able to prove their worth. Beaver Fleming's backflips. Coming up through the gears now, Aurélien Giraud in 16 and 17. Jagger Eaton in 2018. 20 years next year in 2020. Tony, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you. This was really fun to watch, and I'm thankful I get to be part of it.
We'll catch you later on for the BMX Street and Park, and we'll see you next year for skate. Real log jammers.